What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Jay. I'm a retired Green Beret out of 3rd Special Forces Group. Guys, the intent behind this channel is to share my knowledge and wisdom with the next generation. So if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe to help me reach that goal. I appreciate it. Also, if you're serious about going to selection, check out the links below, guys, in the description box where you'll get access to my Patreon, and you'll also get access to my Discord, which a bunch of prep courses geared towards helping you prep, attend, and crush selection. All right. With all that said, guys, let's get into today's topic. Guys, today I want to speak with you guys about the #1 reason why Special Forces soldiers fail. Now, failure could come in several different ways. Over the span of my 20-year career, I've seen failure in the form of guys getting fired. I've seen failure in the way of guys just flat out not being able to do their jobs. I've seen failures in the way of guys just getting drunk to the point where they can't, perform as a human being. I've seen failure in the ways of guys flat out just getting into fights and getting their face beat in to where they get kicked off the team and also the regiment. Failure could come in several different ways, guys. These are just a few that I've noticed throughout my 20 years of military career. So why exactly does these Special Forces men fail? Like, why did they fail? Now, oftentimes you hear that, hey, Special Forces guys fail in those manners because they are physically weak, not able to conduct PT, they are not team players, they are not trained adequately, they are not cut out for the job. Like, there's a bunch of different reasons that, folks will have you believe, to include myself, to why these Special Forces guys fail. And for the longest, I believed it, right? But it wasn't until 2018 that I had the realization that, hey, although those factors are part of it, that is not the reason why Special Forces guys fail. That is not the #1 reason, guys. And something very specific took place to where I started to realize that that wasn't the case. So in 2018, I was an instructor over at the 18 Charlie Committee. And during that time, it was my last year there, and I had elevated to the position of committee chief, meaning I was in charge of the 18 Charlie course as a whole. And I remember this day vividly, guys. I was in the gas station grabbing gas for my truck, and I sent out a text message to one of my instructors that were at the range that day. And I didn't get anything back. I didn't hear anything back. So I'm like, man, what is going on? And then I get a phone call from one of the other instructors, and he was like, hey, we just saw your message come across in the group thread. You must not have heard about what took place. And I was like, no, I have no idea, like, what's going on. He then went on to tell me that, hey, there was a explosive accident on the range, and it's a mess. It's just mass chaos out there, right? So I'm like, holy crap, I had no idea this was going on. I jumped in my truck, I drove back to the office, and then I started, handling business, right? I started handling the junior class. I sent them home. I got a hold of all the chain of command, make sure they know what was going on. And then I started speaking to my instructors, trying to figure out exactly what's going on out there, right? Then they broke it down to me what took place. Once they told me what was going on, I jumped in my truck. I went down to the hospital, and I started to figure out, hey, who's all right, who's hurt. We had some civilians on the range, made calls to their parent unit, make sure everybody was taken care of, right? Once that incident had subsided and everything was going according to plan as far as the management of the situation, I finally made it back to my office after, dealing with the fact that one of the students had passed away, and I just closed my door and I sat there for, 30 plus minutes. It was during that 30 minutes that I realized that as a Special Forces soldier, I was not indestructible. Like, we go through this process of being built up into these superhuman beings, these super soldiers, to where we believe the fact that we're supposed to be mentally strong and mentally tough, and we're supposed to push through all these different scenarios. But in reality, guys, that can easily lead to your destruction. That could lead to your failure. Let me explain why I say that, because during that 30 minutes while I was in my office, guys, all sorts of thoughts started running through my head, as in, hey, why did this happen? Like, what's going on? I just took over as a leader. I was fierce to where I was getting ready to go do some stupid, fucked up shit. And it was at that moment that I realized, holy crap, like, I am messed up. And emotionally and mentally, guys, I just broke down for about 30 plus minutes, guys. I just sat in my office and just had a fucking mental breakdown, emotional breakdown. And I tell you what, on the other side of that breakdown, once I realized and accepted the fact that I was not indestructible, that I was not able to control everything, that I still had a lot to work on as a leader, as a soldier, I came out on the other end ready to go to work to better myself. So why is that the number one reason why Special Forces soldiers fail? It's the number one reason because a lot of Special Forces guys don't have that emotional and that mental breakdown for them to realize their flaws and go to work to fix it. We don't get emotional intelligence training at the Q course. We don't get that at selection. We are built to be machines that execute at the highest level. And when we deal with emotional setback, we don't know how to push through it and get over it. We don't know how to deal with a death. We don't know how to deal with failures. We don't know how to deal with losing. So we turn to other vices as opposed to just emotionally breaking down and mentally, accepting defeat and saying, hey, I'm a human being. I'm going to have flaws and I need to work through them. We don't oftentimes get to that point, guys, and the ones that do are the lucky ones. And when we don't get to that point, guys, like I mentioned earlier, we turn to other outlets. And those other outlets are not often the right ones. Guys, once I realized that, I went to work and I started to share it with everyone that was willing to listen, right? It helped me not only in my job, it helped me at home, right? Guys, I think that is the number one reason why Special Forces guys fail. Again, it took me a while to come to this realization, but once I did, it helped me out tremendously, guys. I hope this message serves you in one way, shape, or form. Eager to hear what you guys think. If you have a different take on the matter, please leave it in the comment section below, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.